What a day! Good morning. A very blustery morning, I might add. It's not as bad. Oh, here comes the car. Mental camera record equals car. Works every time. Anyway, it's not as bad here. I think it's slightly sheltered. But anyway, I'm back at the mental. Another natter time. Oh, here comes the wind. 40 years now I've been documenting this place. Well, 40 plus. Started off in the early 80s. Little Super 8 silent camera. And I had a lot of footage of it in the grounds, but it didn't survive. The reels all just got knackered, you know, the film. All stuck together and I had to chuck them. But I had a lot of footage. I have some surviving footage of coming down there, Love Lane, down this road here and past the front gates. I've actually got that on YouTube, but that's about the only Super 8 footage of the early 80s, 80, 81. But like I say, it didn't survive. There's no mobile phones in them days. There was no camcorders. There was no nothing. Memory cards, you say, what's a memory card? But yeah, so like I say, 40 plus years at 1980, 81, I first started filming the mental. And I haven't stopped since. So it's over 40 years. Documenting it, talking about the history, my interactions with the patients. Wells Fargo used to do the wages run from the Midland Bank. 4 bags full of cash to pay the entire staff. Like I say, the history, when it was built, it was intended for 200 patients, and the mid-60s there's over 1,500 patients. They kept putting extensions on the extensions, and I've had the interactions with Jones Brothers, well, lately with Jones Brothers, obviously. But so yeah, I've done tours, walkabouts, inside the grounds, inside the buildings, everything. See someone moving around the front, by the front entrance, well, front door. That's where I saw the patient fall to his death, by the way. I've talked about all these anecdotes and stories and stuff. Like I say, I've had interactions. Don't know who's mooching about in the front there. Someone in the grounds, probably security. Yeah, and interactions with security. Many security, some good interactions, some not so good interactions. I don't know. Someone's at the front there by the this side of the security fencing. Someone mooching about. Probably security. Oh yeah, police, North Hills Police, Denbigh County Council. North Hills Police, they've always got on great with me, and I've always got on great with them. Multi-millionaire property developers, all good fun, and sometimes not so good fun. But yeah, as I say, that my anecdotes, the stories, the jumpers, the suicide jumpers, the escapees, where the water source came from, how it was heated, originally heated by coal fires. So when you look across the roofs of the mental, you see a sea of chimneys, because it was originally heated by coal fires before they had a network of pipes, hot water pipes, network. And we used to pinch the apples from the orchard here and run across the road there and cook them on the hot water pipe. There was a bit of exposed pipe in there. We used to sizzle and we used to eat them, cook our apples. It was originally lit by candles and like oil lamps, and all these anecdotes and stories I've done over the years. The patients were locked in from 10 at night until 6 in the morning, no supervision. They were literally locked in, and they'd open up the next day and there'd be a few patients dead. And then them days, if you were you know, a bit illiterate, a bit backward or dyslexic, you were mad. You know, they didn't know anything about it, so you were mad, so you'd be put in an asylum. I've talked about where the patients were buried, 2 locations where the patients were buried. No patients were buried in the grounds of the mental, even though they had a chapel. The original chapel was above the front door, but it wasn't big enough, so they built a chapel at the back by the morgue. And that's another question I used to get asked a lot. Where's the morgue? Where's the morgue? Why everyone wants to find the morgue, I don't know. But yeah, like I say, I'm back, and 40 plus years I say now. Oh, they've gone. Whoever was at the front there, they've moved that way, so it's probably security. Yeah, like I say, if you're interested, I get a lot of interest in the mental. You know, I've done walkabouts, tours, I've talked about the stories, anecdotes. Elwyn, I've had interactions with Elwyn. He's up there looking, still watching over the place probably. He used to work for my father in the Love Lane garage and all that. Anyway, George, singing George on a Sunday morning. All these stories and anecdotes. You know, you get a lot of these videos on YouTube, these urban explorers, and I've got nothing against urban explorers, but they go, or they have been in the grounds, and they just walk around. They don't know what they're doing, they don't know the history of the place, they don't know where they are in the grounds, they just wander around. But I will give you stories, anecdotes, history and stuff, my experiences as a kid and whatever. Like I say, 40 plus years now. If I'd have preserved that Super 8 footage, it would have been of a lot of interest, but like I say, it didn't survive. I had it in the cupboard and all reels and it all stuck together. You know, you've got to store it properly. You know, there was just coming into, well, was it the mid 80s to the end of the 80s, where you could get it transferred onto VHS then. Yeah, VHS, it was a tape video recorder, but my footage, my reels had gone well before then. Like I say, I have got some surviving footage along this road here, and it goes past the front entrance. That would be 81, something like that. But all my Super 8 footage on the mental is all gone. But I've got a lot of videos on YouTube. Must be hundreds and hundreds of videos. Like I say, 40 years documenting this place, my experiences, anecdotes and interactions and all what's been going on, and I'm still doing it. I'll still be doing it. 40 plus years, I ain't gonna stop anytime soon. So as always, if you're new to this channel and you're interested in the mental, watch the videos. If you're not interested, if you couldn't care less about the place, fair enough. I know everyone's not interested, and a lot of people couldn't care less about the place. But anyway, that's not gonna stop me documenting it. So it's 40 plus years and I ain't gonna stop anytime soon. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you again.